Noah Grant, 34, sits on the edge of his sofa when Serena Brooks, 33, says, "I don't love you anymore." He blinks like someone turned off a light. "Did I do something wrong?" he asks. Serena keeps her hands folded in her lap.
No.
"You didn't do anything. I just fell out of love." He listens to the quiet hum of the refrigerator and the distant car outside. "Is this really what you want?" he says at last. "Yes," she answers, like she already packed her heart days ago.
He nods slowly.
"Then take some clothes and stay at your sister's for now. I need space to think." She frowns. "Why do I have to leave? This is my home too." He looks at the front door key in her palm. "Please," he says. "You're ending it." After some tense silence, she hands him the key. He watches her zip a small bag, slide on shoes, and walk out without looking back. When the latch clicks, Noah hears the emptiness flood the house, her mug on the counter, her perfume in the hallway, the wall art she loved to buy on sale. He sits there for a long time with his hands open, like he dropped something invisible and can't find it on the floor. That night, Noah barely sleeps. He stares at the ceiling fan, and the slow spin feels like a clock with no numbers. 9 years, he whispers to the dark. He thinks of the soft Saturdays, the grocery lists, the jokes over burnt toast. He had supported Serena for 7 years after she said she didn't want to work, and he said, "It's okay. We're a team."
He meant it.
He still means it, even now when the team dissolves like sugar in hot tea. In the morning, the house is too big. Her robe hangs on the back of the bathroom door like a person without a voice. He pours coffee into her favorite mug, then stops and pours it back into the pot. "No," he says to the empty kitchen. He washes the mug and sets it upside down to dry. His phone lights up around noon. Serena's name is on the screen. He thinks it might be second thoughts, a crack of light, let's talk. "Hey," she says in an easy tone. He keeps his voice level. "What's up?" "Just checking in," she answers. He closes his eyes. "Are you still sure about this?" "Yes," she says. "This is what I want." He breathes in and out, slow and careful, like he is learning air again. "Okay," he says. "If that's the case, I have to make some changes." She sounds alarmed. "What kind of changes?" He looks at the insurance folder on the table. "I'll take you off the car insurance for my car. I'll cancel your phone plan. I'll close the joint account."
What?
"Why would you do that?" she snaps. He speaks gently. "Because we're not together anymore." "You're being petty," she says. "No," he answers. "I'm being practical." She accuses him of punishment. He stands still, one hand on the table edge, the other hanging loose. "I'm not punishing you," he says. "I'm just stopping support that only made sense when we were engaged." Silence stretches. Then she says, "You're leaving me with nothing." He swallows. "You chose this," he says softly. After the call, he phones the insurance company. He asks the woman on the line to remove Serena from the policy. He ends the phone plan that sits under his name. The banker clicks keys and confirms the joint account is closed. Each step feels like pulling nails out of a board, slow and necessary. That evening, messages flood his screen. Serena writes, "You're ruining my life." She writes, "I have nothing now." He doesn't answer. He sits on the porch in the late light and watches the street go pink, thinking of all the things love pays for that money never sees. Mutual friends text him. She's at her sister Ruth's place. It's rough. He reads quietly. Apparently, Serena hasn't worked in 7 years, and her resume is thin as paper held to the sun. She applies to places, and hears nothing back. A night later, she calls and asks, "Can I keep the car until I get back on my feet?" He says, "No, why not?" "You have another," she fires back. "Because it's mine," he replies. "I paid for it and I need it." "You're cruel," she says, voice trembling. He leans on the counter, looks at the dent from an old dropped pan. "I was kind for 9 years," he says calmly. "I supported you because I loved you. You ended that support when you ended us." She hangs up. He puts the phone down and lets the silence return. He doesn't slam drawers. He doesn't throw pictures away. He just breathes, cleans the kitchen, and makes himself an omelet. The house looks wider now, but it also looks truer. He wipes the counter, rinses the sponge, and thinks there are many kinds of mercy. Some of them are boundaries. A week after, Serena texts, "I need to pick up the rest of my things." "Fine," he replies. When she arrives at dusk with a suitcase, she walks past him without a hello. He stays in the living room. He can hear hangers clack like nervous teeth. After 15 minutes, she appears holding his laptop. "What are you doing with that?" he asks. "I'm taking it," she says. "I use it all the time." He shakes his head.
No.
"It's mine." Her eyes flash. "Are you serious? Over a laptop?" "Yes," he says evenly. "Because it belongs to me." She clutches it tighter. His attention drops to the suitcase. He steps toward it. "What are you doing?" she says, blocking him. "Looking," he answers and unzips it. Inside, he finds his headphones, a good knife set, and his favorite gray hoodie, the one she borrowed and never returned. He holds the knives, then the headphones. "Care to explain?" She crosses her arms. "I use those all the time. You never notice." "Using isn't owning," he says. Her voice rises. "It's just a few things. You don't even need them." "That's not the point," he replies. "They're not yours." He hands her the suitcase, minus the items, and says quietly, "Take your clothes. Take your personal things. Everything else stays." Tears fill her eyes. "You're heartless." He shakes his head. "I'm careful." She leaves in a storm of words sent later by text. Accusations of cruelty, punishment, and spite. He doesn't answer. He gathers the last small items of hers into a box. Lip balm, a silk scarf, a cracked picture frame. He sets the box in the garage like a farewell with a roof. Friends keep messaging him. She says you're making her miserable. He replies to none of it. On Saturday morning, he does laundry, opens windows, and lets the house exhale. He stands in the empty bedroom doorway and says, "You're mine again," to the quiet space. That night, the doorbell rings. He isn't expecting anyone. He opens the door and finds Serena on the stoop, hair messy, eyes red. "I need help," she whispers. He steps aside. She sits on the edge of the couch, as if the cushions might judge her. "I can't find a job," she says. "No one calls me back. I don't know what to do." He listens without interrupting. "I'm sorry it's hard," he says, voice even. "What are you asking me for?" Her mouth tightens. "Help me. You owe me. I gave up my career for you." He shakes his head. "You chose to stop. I supported that because I loved you. I never asked you to quit." She cries harder. "My sister wants me out if I don't pay rent." He stares at the coffee table ring where a glass once sat too long. "You ended us," he says softly. "The support ended too." "Wow," she snaps, anger crawling back. 9 years, and you'll let me suffer."
He stands.
"You made a choice," he says. She leaves without another word. For a week, her messages tilt from apologies to blame and back again. "I miss you. You're cruel. I made a mistake. You ruined me." He reads, then puts his phone face down and goes for long walks. A friend calls to report the latest. Ruth gave Serena an ultimatum: find a job in a month or move out. Noah thanks the friend and keeps his voice neutral. He knows the math. No work history, thin resume, a world that wants proof before it hands a paycheck. One evening, the doorbell rings again. He breathes in and opens. Serena stands there shaking. "I can't do this," she says. "I miss you. I miss us. I still love you." He studies her face. He remembers movie nights, her laugh when he oversalted popcorn. He remembers bills he paid and promises he kept. He answers with a steady tone. "You don't love me," he says, not unkind. "You love the life I gave you." She reaches for his hand. He steps back. "I can't help you," he says. "You have to live with your choice." She begs. He holds the door. She finally walks out, and the click of the latch sounds like a book closing. After that night, he feels the weight lift. He starts running in the mornings. He cooks simple meals and eats at the table with the window open. A few days later, a friend texts, Ruth kicked Serena out. Deadline passed. He exhales a sadness that doesn't change his decisions. Another week passes, and he hears Serena found part-time work at a small cafe. The news is plain, without triumph. He whispers to his kitchen, good. Work is good. He goes on a first date arranged by a friend. Her name is Maya Lane. She's a project manager with a tiny apartment full of plants and a laugh that lives in her eyes. On their third date, she asks, what happened before me? He tells her the summary, not the novel. She listens and says, you deserved better. He smiles like someone opened a window inside his chest. As weeks pass, they share dinners, swap playlists, and split checks without even talking about it. He is surprised by the quiet relief of balance. One evening, while they eat pasta on his couch, his phone lights up with a new number and a very old story. Serena writes, I can't find stable work. I'm barely making it. Can I move back in until I get on my feet? He shows the message to Maya. She raises an eyebrow. What will you do? He says, nothing. And he does exactly that. A few days later, Serena arrives on his porch again, uninvited. Maya sits in the kitchen, calm and still, sipping tea. Noah opens the door and keeps his voice neutral. There's nothing to talk about, he says before Serena can start. She looks past him toward the kitchen, tight smile, thin eyes. I made a mistake, Serena says, tears already building. I have nowhere to go. Please. He shakes his head. You don't love me. You miss the life I provided. She reaches for the old script. I'll do anything to make it right. He hears the whole 9-year echo in that sentence and chooses silence. Finally, he says, I'm not your safety net anymore. She stares at him like she doesn't recognize the man at the door. He steps aside, hand on the knob. It's time to leave. She looks once more toward the kitchen, toward the shape of a new life she can't enter. Then she goes. When the door closes, Maya touches his shoulder. I'm proud of you, she says softly. He breathes out a long, tired breath. Me too. Life softens into a new rhythm. He and Maya plan a small trip. They cook together and keep 2 sets of toothbrushes in the same ceramic cup. He stops checking social media because there's nothing back there he wants. After 9 long years of sacrifice, Noah learned the hardest truth. Love without respect and gratitude becomes a burden, not a bond. Serena chose freedom without responsibility, expecting the safety net to remain, but when Noah cut the ties, life forced her to face consequences she never prepared for. Though she begged, cried, and blamed, he stood firm, choosing his own healing over her dependence. In the end, her pursuit of comfort without effort led her into hardship, while his choice to value himself opened the door to a healthier, balanced love with Maya. The moral of his story is simple. When someone takes your kindness for granted, remember that self-respect is not cruelty. It is the first step toward freedom.